Okay, you ready?
Cool.
Hi, this is Leslie from Rockin' Music television show, and I'm sitting here with Mr. John Easdale of Dramarama. How's it going?
Really good, Leslie. It's wonderful to see you. Thanks for coming over.
Nice to see you as well. Last time we spoke was probably 4.5, 5 years ago at the House of Blues.
It seems like only yesterday.
Well, that tape actually became one of the lost Lennon tapes. Somehow it disappeared. So I'm looking very much forward to revisiting with you and seeing how things are and finding out some stuff on what's going on with you. What is new?
Let's see, right when we spoke last was right about when our last album came out, and now we're speaking just before our next album is about to come out, and we're still in the studio fine-tuning it, but as far as Dramarama goes, that's what's going on. And at home, I'm just being a dad, and I have 4 beautiful daughters who are now 4 beautiful women. The youngest is 16, 18, 20, and 22.
Lots of estrogen in your family. In
yeah,
your home.
Yeah. It's 5 against 1. We have 2 female dogs, 2 female cats.
You're done.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful thing. I'm loving it.
Good for you. Good.
I have an abundance of blessings.
That's wonderful. I understand that you recently went back home and played at the Stone Pony. How was that?
It was a tremendous experience, as always. Well, you know, we enjoy playing whenever we get a chance. I always say that I hope the people in the audience are having as much fun as we are on stage. We had a great time, and it seemed like they had a good time. all went well. I went overboard, but you know, we played longer than we should have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how are the East Coast crowds versus the West Coast? Is there any difference?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's only because people remember different things from different times. Mm-hmm. And yeah, but it's you know, whenever there's anybody there, it's really it's truly a treat, and we're really lucky to have people coming back and seeing us all these years later. You know, we've been doing it a long time, so it's a tiny miracle.
Good for you. Good for you. Now, being that said, since you've been in the industry so long, and there's been so many changes in technology since you first started in regards to music, what's the most significant change you've seen, and is it for the better or the worse?
I can't say if it's better or worse. I think what people fail to realize is that there's a lot more people who listen to a lot more music than ever before. It's so easy. It's at your fingertips to be able to hear everything, anything, any band you ever wanted. You don't even, you know, it's sound recording and stuff is a very primitive technology that Edison invented, and it was kind of kept in the hands of a few what they so-called gatekeepers for a really long time. And now, you know, on the one hand, the industry is crying and is falling apart. You know, the music, the record industry for sure. Not the music industry, because the music industry is thriving and going strong on the side of where it's going, but the record industry is going away, and there was an article the other day that the DVDs going, anything with made of plastic with a hole in the middle is ancient technology, and it's all going away. Blu-ray's going to be gone. It's just there's no longer any need to deliver it in that fashion to a single player, a single film, or you know. So that's everyone's gonna have to bite the bullet.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the industry's problem. For me, it's the same. I'm writing a bunch of songs and you know, putting them out there. Unfortunately, now I won't be. I grew up working in record stores and buying records and listening to records and looking at records, and we called our 4th album vinyl because it was going away. You know, and even still, when I'm making decisions regarding a record, I'm going to think about it like side 1, side 2. Since the 90s, early 90s, it's always been a continuous thing. I've never really there's and still I can't imagine like this next thing's not going to have a side 1 and side 2 because you got to have a break somewhere.
A and a B side.
Yeah, you have to have a break. 20 songs in a row is really a lot to ask of anyone, and I don't know that most people are doing that.
Yeah.
I don't know that most people have that passion for music to follow a band. It's more about songs and stuff, which has been good for us because a couple of our songs have stood the test of time. Some kid who was like 21 years old told me, "Yeah, I wrote a timeless classic the other day," and it made me laugh because it's funny words coming out of his mouth, but the fact that it was written before he was born and that he knows the song and can.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
It's like I said, a lot of little miracles take place.
When you write a song, what inspires you? Can you write a song in 5 minutes on a napkin, or is it a long and drawn-out process?
I could do it, but I don't think I'd be pleased with the results. I mean, yeah, I'm always, you always make up little rhymes and stories and stuff in your head if you're lucky, and you're unlucky enough to have that ability. But yeah, I don't know. My cursing is as I get older and do it longer. I'm more judgmental and more my own harshest critic. It's like, no, that's not, nothing's good enough for me. I don't know. I'm one of those elite bastards who criticizes everything else. So my stuff has to be, can't insult people's intelligence. It can't be, I don't know. And I'm sure sometimes it does, and I fail, but I have much higher standards than I did when I was starting out. It's like that's what's that book called? A Staggering Work of Genius. I wrote a lot of staggering works of genius back when I was a kid, but now I take more
thought process.
I think about it more. I'm like, oh, that's not very good.
Yeah. We're sitting here in your lovely home. How do you juggle being a rock star and on the road, and then come home and be dad and have to do the lawns? I
avoid being a rock star on the road, and have for the last 20 years or so. I didn't do really. I wasn't real good at that lifestyle. I think it's really difficult for a lot of people to maintain, and I as they say, our hats are off to those who can drink like a gentleman. I certainly wasn't able to. And certainly couldn't. There was a time when I was a young man when I could balance it and be, the punchinello out on the road, the clown and the fool, and then come home and be responsible. But along with parenthood came the realization that I couldn't do it anymore. One time I brought it home. I think that was the last time, and then quit the band. 1993, 94, right around then. Had some issues, so it ended in the dissolvement of Dramarama for about 10 years.
Yeah. Now, do any of the kids want to go into the music industry?
I don't think so, and if they did, they wouldn't tell me about it.
They keep it hidden from you.
I wouldn't encourage it. I wouldn't discourage it. Any more than I would encourage or discourage someone who wanted to buy tickets in the lottery. But I think it's easier to win the lottery.
Yeah.
And that's why nobody knows how it works, and anyone who says they do is silly. It's just it's a lot of luck.
Wow. Well, good for you. We're very pleased to hear about a new album, and thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Pleasure's entirely mine. I hope you can chop it up into something that's fun to watch.
Yeah, we're going to use the whole thing. Are you kidding? Okay, thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.